Hello everybody and welcome back. Thank you so much for clicking on the video. My name is Joel and this is A Stable Life. We are kicking things off to an absolutely gorgeous Friday. They are calling for some rain showers here and there, but in the meantime, we got beautiful sunny skies. Kind of fools you because it's like, should we have hay laying? I don't know. Oh wow, they changed the weather again. We've got clear and sunny weather today and tomorrow. And then we got rain for the next 2 days, so not enough time period to get hay baled. But next week, maybe, we'll see. Probably not, who knows? Whatever the case is, we've got horses that we need to feed, and today we've got pastures that we need to mow. After all those weeds are getting a little bit on the high side. Sound good, Leia? Yeah, let's get these horses fed. Temperatures aren't too hot, but there is a definite level of humidity in the air, and it is, whew, it's a lot. It's like 70%. 80% humidity right now. There's just moisture in the air and you can feel it. And it is now time to let in honey. Honey, come on, princess. Come on, come on. Look how excited she is. Good morning, honey. Good morning. Good morning. Now it's time for the rest of the horses. Yes, hello, Sarah. Hello, Diego. Good morning, good morning. Yeah, Diego's got this down pat. Good deal. There goes Sarah and Bella and Jack. And then we got Champ. Morning, Champ. Rebel. Morning, Rebel. There's George and Ava. See, Ava's gonna go right into her stall. Look at her go. Good girl, Ava. All right, guys, single file, starting with Suede. Good morning, Suede. Good morning, Danny. Good morning, Declan. Good morning, Spitfire. Morning, Archer. Morning, Skywalker. Good morning, Casino. Good morning, Poncho. Good morning, Sriracha. Good morning, Tucker. Nope, that is, yep, Tucker. Morning, Weather. Morning, Samson. Morning, Obi. Morning, Gavin. Morning, Poe. Morning, Argento. Good deal. Hey, Casino, want me to take the muzzle off, buddy? Don't worry, guys. I will explain everything about why this is on him in a second. He just came back out to tell me that he needed that off. Now he can enjoy his food. Very good. With all of the horses in, I'm gonna let them enjoy their breakfast because we got to get hay out for them. Now, on this past Tuesday, there was actually enough hay left in the feeders that we didn't need to feed any hay at all, which is, you know, of course, nice. Since then, we've had some rain showers, but the temperature has been pretty warm. So I'm assuming that the pastures are probably keeping at pace with the amount that they're consuming. And I can tell we're gonna need to feed a little bit of extra food out there because everything looks pretty empty. So let's go ahead and hop on the tractor and head on over. Okay, we are over here with our 2023 hay. As I was driving by taking a look at our hay feeders, we're gonna be feeding 3 today. 2 round bales are gonna be going in the middle field and 1 is gonna be in the big field. So subtracting the 3, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Include those 3, it's an even 20. That's pretty crazy. Based on our hay usage right now, this will definitely get us, I'm thinking, through June, even through July. I think August will be the first month that we will start feeding 2024 hay. And by August, we should be on to second cutting. So that'll work out exactly with what I wanted to do, meaning that all of our first cutting will be saved for winter. Not too shabby for a bale that's a little over a year old, huh? And that was stored outside the entire time. Now everything that I'm feeding right now is third cutting. This is third cutting from 2023. We've already gone through all of first cutting, burned through that, and we've gone through all of second cutting. So all we got left is third. Not bad, let's take a look. Let's grab a little bit of hay here. See that? No mold, no mildew. It's because it was baled dry, wrapped dry, and the wrap did its job. So that's quality hay for the horses. Not as much feed value as you want in your first cutting, but that's okay. Right now with the horses mostly having a very rich grass diet, you want a lot of fiber to push things through so they don't colic. So this is just what they need. Now I want to show you guys something that's actually pretty unique. That bale that you just saw was right next to this bale, okay? But do you notice a difference? You see that? This is green. This looks the exact same way that it did the day we wrapped it a year ago. Now, what's even more impressive is, you guys see this end? That is the end that was in contact with the ground. This end over here was the end that was facing straight up. Now, this end looks a little bit more like what we're used to. You see, we got a little bit of trash here, you know, that's okay. That's not a big deal. That's only on the surface. That's not a problem at all. But look at the shell, completely fine. Honestly, great, completely great. Like this does not look like this has sat outside for a whole year. Now I'm gonna pick it up with the spear, and so you guys can get an even better look at things. Look at the bottom. Look at that. There you go, sunlight's hitting it now. You can really see. That is a gorgeous bale of hay. Now this was fully wrapped and this was stored outside, and this actually happened by accident, but I suppose that's how you stumble upon things that are actually really good. I was talking with the neighbor farmer who also wraps hay. We are one of the only facilities in the area that wrap round bales for horses. So we get a lot of questions about it. Understandably so, right? That bale, the difference was, instead of it being wrapped and sitting like the rest of the bales, where this side would be sitting on the ground, this side would be face up, the bale was stacked on end, specifically this end. So it was straight up and down like this. Now the difference is that the wrapper, while wrapping, wraps the ends far more so than it wraps the bottom and the top. It does rotate the round bale, so you get usually about 4 or 5 wraps on the sides, but you're getting 20 on the ends. And they have been stacking their bales on edge with the wrapped side facing down, and they have noticed a huge improvement and a huge reduction in loss doing that. And he is just passing that information along to me, I kid you not, last week. I was like, huh, that's interesting, you know? And then this bale, the way that it came off the wrapper, it just flipped over. And we don't have any grapples that are able to handle wrapped bales without putting holes in them. So we just left it there. And that was how it was. In fact, I expected this bale to be far worse than the other bales. I was thinking this may have been a cow bale, but this is actually the best one that I've seen in the lot, which is pretty impressive. So we are planning, as you guys know, on building a hay barn. We're in the planning process of that. And since this is going to be such a huge barn, we want to make sure that we have all of our ducks in a row for that, which is why that is taking the time that it is. But in the future, if we ever have any excess hay, maybe hay that doesn't fit inside the hay barn and needs to be stacked outside, or for the veggie boys, for their wrapped bales, because their bales will still be wrapped and will still be kept outside. This is really important and good to know information. So later on this year, I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna grab, because we have a bunch of wrapped bales out right now, we're gonna flip them up on edge, kind of do a test run and see how they perform compared to the ones that are on their sides. That'll be just a unique little study that we're gonna do to find out, see if this is a misnomer or if this is the actual rule. And if this is the rule, then that is awesome. Let me lower the bale here, show you something else I just discovered. I've been doing a lot of research on round bales. I want to make sure that the hay that we're feeding the horses not only is quality, but that we're making sure that every dollar we're spending on this hay is worth it. It's valuable. So if you look at the outside section of this bale, what's interesting is the outer foot. If you look at this bale, where do you think the most volume of hay would be? If you guessed the outer diameter, that is exactly right. The outer foot of this round bale is 59% of the total hay that is inside a round bale. Isn't that insane? I think that is absolutely crazy. So when you look, you know, you're going from here to here. That is 59% of this round bale. The rest of it, of course, is the other 41%. When you have on the bottom, right here, say you have spoilage right across here, you're looking at a significant amount of loss per bale. And that adds up when you've got 300 plus round bales, right? And that all that loss, that just goes straight to the compost pile and right back out on the fields. Lost money, horses aren't getting any value from it, and the bales lose feed value as that spoils. So the bales just lose value automatically because of that. So if you can cut down on waste here, it's good all around. I'm pretty excited about this. Now, of course, that does mean you need to have special equipment. You need to have a wrapper that can deposit the bale on end, or you need to have a specific tool that picks up the wrapped round bales and deposits them on end. We have used pallet forks in the past. The problem with the pallet forks is that they do put holes in the sides of the bale, just rubbing the wrap wrong. They do put holes in them. It's not a every bale thing, but it's enough to warrant not doing it with pallet forks. if the bale is going to be stored outside for a long period of time. That means that's now on my list of tools that I need to acquire, because for one thing, we plan on stacking the bales in the hay barn on end in giant tubes going up, and I can use pallet forks for that, but to make sure it's a clean stack and that we're able to fit as much in that space as possible, I need to get a round bale grapple. So I just thought I'd share that with you instead of just feeding the bale and moving on. It's all that's going on in here, and well, just thought you guys would like to know the journey. Okay, I'm sure the horses are gonna love that. Let's continue on. We are now back with our horses. Everybody is definitely done eating. I still need to work on daily care, so let's get these horses sprayed, sunscreened, and fly masked so they're ready for the day and send them on their way. Love seeing a bunch of happy horses munching on some fresh hay. Boom. There we go. Morning feeding is done. Next up on the list is lunch. Then we're gonna be hooking up to the little rotary chopper and starting to clear off and clean up those horse pastures. For lunch today, it looks like we're having taco bowls or plates. How are they? Are you feeling better? Mm-hmm. Good.
I'm enjoying my food and I'm feeling great.
Ryan, Andrew. Lunch is over, and instead of moving over and rotary shopping, which is something I need to do. By the way, 130's fixed. Yay! There goes Matt. Super happy that tractor's fixed. But instead of heading on over and rotary chopping, I thought I'll take care of that tomorrow. I could get the chopper hooked up today and everything set up and good to go, and then really kind of hit things hard tomorrow. I thought today we'd actually take a look at our wrapped round bales, see how they're looking, because I haven't actually gotten to inspect any of them since they've been freshly wrapped, and also mark them so that we know what's what, and we're kind of prepared for the rest of the year. It's been a bit of a whirlwind getting all the hay in, and things have moved around pretty quick. We'll see what we can do to make sure that things stay organized moving forward. So I've got some spray paint, and we're gonna be marking the round bales accordingly, making sure we know what's first cutting, what's second cutting, especially as we're moving things around. We still have a few fields, it's two fields that are left on this farm for us to take out. Here we go. This is 96 round bales right here, fully wrapped, ready to go. And you can see what I'm talking about. This is how the wrapper will deposit them, and this is how it sits. If you look, you can see all of the extra layers of wrap. See, each of these things is a whole layer of wrap, and it all sticks together to keep moisture out of the bale. Now right here specifically, this one got a rip. So these ripped bales I mark specifically so, and then these get fed a lot sooner than the rest of them, because obviously that's going to let moisture in, and that moisture will take away from how valuable this bale is, the amount of feed value that's in it, and everything else with that. So if you look at the top here, you can actually see the hay. See that? See how you can see through the wrap? Can you see the hay at all here? None at all. These bales specifically are going to be the ones that I am going to be trying things out with, because we're going to be moving these over to our farm. We got them wrapped, got them put here, so that way we could get the whole product taken care of before the weather moved in. But now we got to get them a little bit closer to our farm, so that'll be a future video. All right, so I'm just going to go through and see what we can find for bales that have rips on them. Boy, I'll tell you what, I can't get over just how good looking these bales are. You know, looking at each one independently, wow, these actually look really good. Nope, it's just bird poop. So far, I've only found one, so that's pretty good. Okay, well, we have 6 round bales here that have holes in them. I marked them all accordingly with the letter corresponding to what farm they came from and the number indicating what cutting they were. I did not mark all of them just because I want to make sure things continue to look good for the landowner here, and sometimes marshmallows with spray painted letters and numbers on them really aren't that pleasing to the eye, depending on who you are. Not that they've told me so, but just don't want to cause any problems. So we're going to mark these pretty much the day before we take them all and head them on over to our property. That being said, we're going to head over to our farm now, and all of the hay bales that we have marked from our farm are going to be marked with a different letter corresponding to the farm they came from, and then of course the number 1, because they're all first cutting. So let's head on over there and see how those look. Since they have little holes in them, they will be okay for now, but they will spoil as the year goes on. So we are going to continue to use our third cutting hay, because if I started feeding brand new first cutting hay, those horses would not touch that third cutting hay anymore. They're like, whoa, this has some grain in it. This has got some more feed value. That's at least what I think they're gonna say, you know? So we're gonna work on that. We've only got 17 left, so things will continue to be working good in that area. And in the meantime, if we end up actually developing some sort of a shelter where I could put those bales in, then I might come out here and scoop them up. But other than that, we'll work with what we got, right? That's what we always do. Now here we are at our existing farm. Now these are all round bales on our own property. Everything's pretty much good to go here. Now, what we're gonna do is we're gonna mark through, and these I'm gonna mark final because this is pretty much where these bales are gonna be until the day they're being fed. And this farm is going to be where the other bales are all coming to. So this is where everything's gonna be until the hay barn is built. Now, we're gonna go through and we gotta visually inspect the wrap of these bales. Make sure that the bale is solid, good, no holes, nothing poking through, allowing moisture like this to get through and ruin the bale. We're gonna mark these all with an H for horse. These are C for clover and or cow, both work. I also thought I would address a lot of the questions that I've gotten in regards to why aren't we marking these as we're wrapping them. The simple answer is that when we first started wrapping the round bales, that is exactly what we did. We had 3 people. We had one in the wrapper, one in the skid steer loader, and one on the ground to help with any problems that came up while you're wrapping. Sometimes the wrap kind of goes off the bale and doesn't continue to stay on it, so you have to reattach the wrap to the bale to restart the process. Maybe something just doesn't work on the wrapper and it needs to be reset, whatever the case may be. And that person had a can of spray paint, and as they were going, they were marking the bales. The main reason why we haven't really been marking them this year is because, simply put, there's only 2 people wrapping at best. So there's really no one to come back here and mark the bales, and no need to make things harder on my family. I am happy to come back here and mark things accordingly, and that way I can kind of get a better look at things anyway. So I kind of prefer things this way as it is now. The question will be, how am I going to be able to organize our hay once it's in the hay barn, you know, in regards to what fields? I suppose I could stack one side with one farm and one side with the other. We'll have to work things out, guys. We'll get it figured out. Anyway, let's grab our spray paint and let's go. I also will need to bring an extra battery. Oh, and I should probably have my phone in case someone needs to get a hold of me. We're going for a walk here. I think there's over 100 here that we're gonna be marking. This is gonna take a while. And I can already see a lot of these got butchered a little bit here. Sometimes when they're coming off the wrapper, they just hit wrong and they hit metal and it just gouges the bale. Oh, see, this one's a clover bale. These are marked with C's. C, 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 C. Now these over here, I'm curious if it's a C on this side or an H on the other. Let's take a look. Oh, it's a little tight. There we go. Okay, yeah, see, these are horse bales. So we'll start here. All right, I'm gonna mark these all facing this direction because this is the direction we'll be loading them from. And these are gonna be an H for horse, and then the number 1 for first cutting. There we go. And if the bale is gouged or marked, we will put a giant X on the top of it. That way, when I know when I'm coming through, that bale needs to go. This one looks pretty good. A little tight in here, but we can work with this. This is the perks of being a lefty. Make sure I don't touch the paint with my clothes. Bale looks good. All right, you guys are getting the hang of this. To switch my hands halfway through. My left arm was getting tired, so I had to actually right-handed, which I had to think about, but I was able to do. There's an X on top of all the bales that have marks on them. Looks like here it's about the same, about 6. It is 2:33. So we're gonna head on back, get a drink of water, and then we're gonna get the chopper hooked up and ready for tomorrow. Get started feeding. Good stuff, guys. This was a good job that we needed to get done. We are wrapping up with afternoon feeding, but I'm sure a lot of you have been wondering, why is Casino wearing a muzzle? And no, it has nothing to do with him biting horses or being bad. Actually, let's see if you can guess just by looking at him. If you guessed that he's morbidly obese, the answer is correct. He is actually morbidly obese and on the verge of potentially being so fat that he could founder. So the muzzle is a prevention so that he is not able to eat while he's out. There are more severe things that we can do, but as you can see, he doesn't fight me on putting the muzzle on or anything like that. He fully understands. In fact, we firmly believe that he's actually had muzzles on himself before because of how this just feels so natural to him, and this would not be something that is very natural to a horse unless they've had it in the past before. So this is hard to do one-handed. Wow. Oh, if only I had an extra pair of hands. Just would show up out of nowhere to take care of things. Perfect. So, like I was saying, this muzzle is here to prevent him from eating grass, hay, but he can still be out with his friends. He can still drink water. And actually, there's a little hole here. He can get a little bit of grass if he really wants to. But we're doing this to prevent him from foundering. And sadly, if he were to founder, it would be so severe that we would have to put him down. So, we're doing everything we can to prevent that from happening. That does mean that the poor guy does have to wear a muzzle. He will be okay, of course. This was something that we found from when the vet did her yearly visit. She was checking on him and made this recommendation to keep him, you know, doing well and happy. Come on, come on, come on. It does mean the poor guy is gonna have to wear a muzzle for a little while. I think he'd rather wear a muzzle than not be able to have a good old life. Enjoy your evening, buddy. And like I said, he will be okay. And I'll keep you guys apprised and updated. If we have to put him in a pasture that has absolutely no feed every night, we may have to do that. It all depends on whether he starts losing weight or not. So, I mean, you can kind of tell. If he was a draft horse, he would look pretty good, but for a tiny little paint, not so much. Just something I love about seeing all the horses using that feeder. All the work that we put into building that, and it's always so good to see that it's being used. And well guys, we've reached that special time of the video. It is time for our question of the day. Our latest video is the big one. I recognize that a few of you probably felt that was just overly long. A few of you felt that it was just right. Well, I guess that's the nice thing about longer videos, is if you don't want to watch the whole thing, no one's forcing you to. But a lot of you did. A lot of you did. So that's great. I'm glad it had good entertainment value for you guys. That's what matters. So let's take a look at that video. Take a look at our questions. Okay, we got a question from Wrinkles and Sprinkles. Says, wait, Gavin is the editor for this channel? I thought Joel was. Did I miss something? The answer is both of us. Lately, Gavin has been doing just about every single video, and I, by the way, very much appreciate all the love you guys show him in the comment section. Isn't he so good at it? I think he really is. I think he's doing an amazing job. I was the editor on the channel for all of the videos up until last year at about November. I think it was November. Gavin, you can correct me via editing, whatever the date was that you remember that you started doing it on a regular basis. And it was supposed to be just him doing a few videos and I did the rest. And he did such a good job. He wanted to keep doing more. He really appreciated helping me out in this way. The kind of good man that he is. He is editing for these videos, and I always offer here and there. There's a lot of stuff that's coming in that needs to be taken care of. But that being said, I do review all the videos before they go out to you guys to make sure that everything is still on the up and up. But yeah, Gavin is currently the editor. He's doing an amazing job. Really love having him here. All right, now we're gonna find another question. Here we go, from Lorraine Bastillos. I think that's how you say your last name. Is Petey married? No, Petey is single. And we got another one here. This will be the last one. This is gonna be from Hefia Game Tech. I think that's what that says. 8094. Who married into the family first, you or Andrew? I'm assuming you're referring to our in-laws, and that would be Andrew was the first of all of us to get married. And then after Andrew was Tyler. He married a completely separate family. And then after Tyler was Matthew. After Matthew was Timothy. After Timothy was me. And then finally Daniel. Interestingly enough, for those that don't know, Andrew and I are brothers-in-law. We married sisters. So Megan and Lauren are sisters. Hopefully I didn't confuse anybody there, but yeah, so the first person that married out would be Andrew, to answer your question. If your question is in regards to the family, this is our family farm. So we just took all of them from Florida up here, and now they're part of the farm. Kind of how it works, I suppose, right? Thank you guys so much for watching the videos. If you haven't, don't forget to hit that like button and make sure you're subscribed to keep up to date on all future videos. As you guys know, this is going to be a huge year. It already has been a big year for a lot of stuff, and we're just getting started. All right, guys, thanks for watching. And as always, I'll see you in the next one.